everyone, welcome back to Now I See on CYC. Today I'll be continuing my discussion with Lazarus. Welcome back, Lazarus.
How are you?
So I want to ask you about how you got involved in the Coptic community.
Just in general, getting to know people, and people would talk to me about things and that, and then with the various persecutions, and how I started getting involved with the rallies and trying to be supportive of the Australian Coptic movement they were putting on, anything like that. And then with the various rallies, I would start to go on a regular basis, and I think I might have missed one in about the last 6 years or whatever it is, and 5-6 years, and that was due to work, unfortunately. And sometimes I try to bring along friends, and usually we get a bit of a turnout. At the last rally over the beheading of the 21 Coptics in Libya, we had a few friends come along from a few different Christian bike clubs, non-Orthodox Christians, but still they were there in support. I'm not going to knock back any support, obviously. One was the national spokesperson for the Christian Motorcyclists Association here in Australia, a lovely lady who's also a member of another Christian bike club called Righteous Christian Motorcycle Club. Plus we had a couple of other members from that club and a few other people from the Christian Motorcycle Association as well come along, and who are also members of the Disciples Christian Motorcycle Club. So sometimes get a handful of people come along, sometimes a bit more, in support. And I once had a Jewish lady come along. I round them up wherever I can, try and get them to come along. And that's not that I do a great deal, but when I can, I try to do a little bit.
I see you have a really interesting jacket there as well. Can you tell us a little bit about your jacket and what each of the patches mean?
Okay, basically they just all mean different
clubs. Are they all different
clubs?
things
or events. That one, I'm not really involved much with them. It's just, but it's a society dedicated to helping people that may have had accidents, and that's like a support group.
Yep.
Mainly motor vehicle accidents, get them back up on the road, get them back on track. That's just basically, I happen to ride a BMW at the moment. The ones up here, that's our Pink Ribbon Ride. It's a major event here in Sydney, and actually many places. It's basically raising funds and awareness for breast cancer. We all, or not everyone obviously, but a lot of people dress up in pink, and we all act very silly and try to raise money. Last year, and the year before, actually I'm not sure of the figures from last year. The year before was around about 70,000 in the day. We had about 1,500 show up.
Wow.
At the time, like I personally, a lot of people do this sort of thing, like I dyed my beard and hair pink, and had like an outfit. It was supposed to be Gandalf the Wizard, but we didn't make it very well, and it ended up people thought I was being a pink Jesus, which turned out very good because it ended up, it got into the conversation on a lot of things. So I had 1,500 bikers there. And,
yeah.
Must have spoke to 100 people on the day at least, and God or either church history or whatever often came up, so I was able to, even with the police, I was able to talk to the police about it. So it worked out very much in our favour, and it helped with breast cancer awareness and raising money.
That's great.
So that was good. But this one, Black Dog Ride, that's a major event. In fact, there's a number of events. There's one group which head off to Central Australia, raising awareness mainly for depression, suicide awareness, supporting a group called Lifeline that focus on that sort of thing. But then they have smaller one-day events all over Australia. I generally go to the one up on the Central Coast of New South Wales, but they're in Sydney, they're all over the place. That one is little Coptic association motorcycle association we set up. We're not overly active in the broad sense, because quite frankly it's very hard to get everybody together on the one day. But the idea of that was knowing that there will be young Coptic Orthodox guys getting involved in motorcycling. Some will want to. It's not to promote them to ride. It's not what it's about. But if someone is...
Like a rider that's Coptic.
Well,
yeah.
As we all know, if somebody might want to, they might look at the newspapers and they see what they think is a very glamorous side of motorcycling, getting out there with a club and all your members. The trouble is there's also some clubs and groups you wouldn't want our Coptic youth to get involved with, for obvious reasons. I mean, a lot of them are very good, but there is that small element that you would rather avoid. So the idea is give them someone. And if they want to go for rides, we can organise a ride. We can guide them to
just in fellowship,
which groups you should go to ride with and who probably better to steer away from, so you don't get yourself in trouble that you really don't want.
Yeah.
We can get them involved in charity events. We can organise a run. There's many things. Some are very wholesome and good, and obviously out there is also the element of rides and bike events that you want to steer right away from it. So the idea is to steer them away. Plus, if they don't know what sort of bike, you don't want some young guy going out and seeing some glamorous, very fast bike, getting on it. It's too powerful for him. Next thing he's wrapped around the pole. Yeah. Motorcycling can be very dangerous. So if they don't have someone that can guide them or help them, well, we can provide them with all the advice or put them in touch with the right people or whatever to support them so they can learn it the right way in a relatively safe way, rather than someone just randomly going out and hoping for the best. And we've seen too many people have serious accidents, including myself, from being silly out there and say it's the right way or the wrong way. We hope to guide them to the right way.
Yeah. So are there many Christian bike clubs out there?
There's quite a few in Sydney. Different cities have different amounts. There's actually every year there's a barbecue where all the Christian clubs come together. There's actually every 3 years there's a Australia-wide one, which will actually be held in Brisbane this year. Okay. For all the Christian bike clubs will all be sending representatives, or whoever can go will go, regardless of denomination. And mainly denominational. Most of them are dominantly Protestants, but everybody gets on fine, and the vast majority, if not all, are really decent people.
Great.
Might not look it, but they are.
Yeah, and with the Coptic bike club you have, are they mainly Christians, or just
That's all Coptic,
specifically Coptic?
All Coptic.
Yeah.
No, you can't be a member otherwise. But if we do something, we do not close the doors to anyone to come along. Obviously, if somebody came along to cause trouble, we'd politely say, behave yourself. Yeah. But and don't give us a bad reputation. If you want to be silly, you go somewhere else and do it. But one of the first things we did was actually a ride up to the monastery at Putty, where we had about 25, about half of which were Anglican, that joined us from out Wilberforce way, and they actually met up with us halfway, and we went up to the monastery. It was about 5 years ago. Okay. And more recently, we did a ride up to the monastery again late last year, but for a completely different purpose. With the Pink Ribbon Ride, one of the women highly involved with it, her husband has multiple sclerosis. Yep. And he's got a progressive kind, which is very aggressive, and the only treatment that was available to him was in Russia. And to get there was going to cost around about close enough to $70,000. So last year there was a series of charity events aimed at raising money to get Aaron to Russia for the treatment, which he's had, and so far all's going very well. But to finish up, the last thing we did was actually arranged a run up to the monastery. I'd spoken to Bishop Daniel at the monastery, who was more than happy to help, and on the same day we planned it, they were laying the foundation stone for the new cathedral they planned to build. So there was quite a few Coptics there as well. So around about 70, maybe 80 bikers came along. They all threw in a donation towards Aaron. Obviously the monastery provided all the food, as they always do. So everyone came along. Of ones that came, probably 20 were probably Christian, the rest weren't. And they went along, and by the end of the day, or while they were there, every one of them, I just had nothing but praise for the Coptic church, for all the people there, the monks. They loved it. A couple of them were giving a few of the monks Harley rides up and down the road. And,
I'm just trying to imagine the monks, you know.
Oh, they loved it. They loved it. It was not on the actual street. It was on a very long driveway. So it was taken up and down the driveway. So they were loving it.
Did the bishop get on the
No, he was actually busy, but I'm sure he would have liked to. Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll get him on the back of a bike. But but everyone loved it, and many want to come back, and quite a few of them have asked questions both about the persecutions going on overseas, about the faith. Quite a few actually said the next time they go, we actually didn't get there till about lunchtime, so we didn't actually.
You want to get there a bit earlier next time.
Yeah, but quite a few have actually say next time they want to go while the liturgy on.
Oh, great!
So that's a good sign.
So the people that were supporting Aaron, was it?
Yes.
So it wasn't like a Anglican or a combined.
It wasn't anybody.
Oh, it wasn't anyone.
Anybody was welcome to come on and support. We had some Anglicans, we had Pentecostals, we had Baptists, we had everyone there. Then we had non-Christians completely, and the majority I don't even know what they were. It didn't really matter. That wasn't the point. The point was help a person get some medical treatment that was much needed, and at the same token, if we can, obviously give God some glory at the same time and introduce a few people to Orthodoxy, why not take advantage and do that as well?
Yeah.
Kill two birds with one stone, so to speak.
That's such a really good idea, because Putty Road is a very popular ride for bikers.
Yeah, so as I said, we had about 70, maybe 80 come.
Yeah.
Some of them I didn't know. Everyone was completely well behaved. Quite a few bike clubs, both Christian and non-Christian, were represented. Everybody couldn't have been nicer and friendlier, well behaved.
Yeah.
We had people come to take photos. There's photos all over the internet.
Yeah, I would imagine that they were really hospitable.
Our crowds anyway. So that was probably the biggest one that really related to the Coptic Church. Hopefully next time more Coptics will come along. That would have been good on the boat.
Yeah, and they stayed for the foundation of laying of the stone?
No, most of them left.
Yeah.
A few stayed, but no majority. Because after the part was over, people started to filter off gradually as they chose to leave.
Yeah.
One at a time. Some stayed a bit longer, some stayed a bit less. By the time the foundation stone was laid, pretty much there was only a handful of us left. But so went from that.
Great. Yeah.
And they loved the food.
Oh yeah.
We did time it when there wasn't a fast on.
Yeah, that's great.
There was more range of food, because some of them wouldn't have understood.
Yeah.
And I didn't want them to come in there thinking, what, don't they eat properly? Because they didn't understand. It would have been too difficult to sit down and explain the fasting to each and every one of them. So it was easy to time it when the fast wasn't on. So they went in there and they loved all the food.
Great. And did you get a lot of Coptics that came up to you guys and asked you questions?
Oh yeah, the Coptics that were there, quite a few of them were walking up to the bikers, and the bikers were walking up to them, and everyone was talking. I mean, maybe not every single person, obviously.
Yeah.
I think a few of the Coptics were looking what's going on. I don't think they realised they were big, but by the time we left, they all seemed very happy. Certainly no complaints that I heard of.
Yeah, that's great.
And
great fellowship.
Yeah, everybody seemed friendly, and as I said, everything I heard, I mean, if anyone had a complaint, I haven't heard about it yet. But a lot of praise, like everybody seemed to enjoy it, so which says a lot about the monks up at the monastery too.
Yeah, they had a good time, didn't they?
Yeah. They've said, thanks to them, it could all be done like that. So it was really well, and hopefully we'll be doing it again this year.
Yeah.
Or something, it might be a different charity, different thing, but hopefully we can think of something. And
it's great exposure for the Coptic Church as well.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Certainly wasn't bad.
So unfortunately we've run out of time again, but we'll continue our story with Lazarus in our next episode, so make sure you tune in to that. But for now, thanks for watching.